Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to talk about, more about relationships, the dynamics of relationships, learning good social skills, help you in relationships, learning social skills to get you out of trouble, get you out of bad situations, to let you understand how to act and what your roles are in a relationship. So overall, I wanted to really talk about shit tests today. In the terms of like it's gonna be done to you, shit tests are just a common occurrence in today's dating market, especially since dating has now evolved from something that was done in person. It was very interactional, where real life interaction, I would say, where you would talk to somebody at the bar, on the street, in the club, at an event. These days, now dating has it's been more on apps where you either swipe right or you swipe left. There seems to be a lot more options in dating. I guess yeah, if you're having the whole city on there, yeah, you're gonna have a lot more options in terms of that, but on a guy's side, your options are really limited. Like the females that seem great, look attractive, seem like someone you would want to date, they get thousands of messages a day from guys. There's guys telling them all sorts of things. Like they want to take them out, they want to fly them here, they want to fly them there. They want to take them out on their yacht. They want to, take them to dinner, buy them jewelry, buy them bags, buy them clothing. The list continues. So, what I would say to people is go back to the basics. Start, meeting people on the street, meeting people, at events, meeting people at maybe socials, meeting people at school, your local college, your high school, your university. A hockey game, basketball game, football game, wherever it is, just meet people. Do like what American musicians did when the Beatles came over here. When the Beatles came over here, which was known as the British invasion, all the American artists did the opposite of the Beatles did. They went to Britain and became famous. Not a lot of people know that, but happened. So let's do what the Beatles did. If online dating isn't working for you, don't get upset, don't get frustrated, don't take it out on, someone or something. Just change your dynamic. Online dating isn't working, so start dating in person and see how that, works out for you. With online dating though, people will pick up on your cues, like your certain social cues you might give out, certain vibes you could say. So this is why it's very important to really work on your social cues, really work on your social skills, so you don't come off in a certain type of way. So you don't come off as being weird, you don't come off as being creepy, you don't really say really socially awkward things to people at the wrong time, I should say. Like you can say super awkward things to people as a joke because it's seen as a joke because you're doing it at a time where it might be unexpected, or you're saying it or doing it a certain way. Then that will be the peak of having great social skills, when you can kind of roll off something that otherwise might be interpreted, if you said it in a different tone or mannerism, as weird. You're putting it off as a joke, and it's clear to everybody or almost everybody there that it's a joke. So that would be good. So overall, from my observances of people and seeing people just randomly trying to pick up other people if I'm around anywhere, a lot of people really can't pick up on interhuman like dynamics, or sexual dynamics, in terms of if somebody is maybe on the fence of giving you their number, or giving you, I don't know, their Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, handle. Like, you really need to pick up on that. You really need to know how to effectively engage with people of the opposite sex, of course, and with people of the same sex. Like, you need to know how to hang out with guys if you're a guy. You need to know how to hang out with girls if you're a girl. Like, these dynamics are very necessary if, as human beings, if we want to communicate effectively with each other. So overall, what I do say is, once again, shit tests are inevitable. You just got to deal with them. There's several ways to deal with them in terms of how it's being done. Like, one example would be being indifferent, maybe not even paying attention to a shit test, ignoring it. That could be one thing. And the opposite could be addressing it directly. Maybe you make a snarky comment. Maybe you make a remark that's really funny, so everybody laughs. That creates some sort of comical relief, and people lighten up, and the situation gets de-escalated. So instead of being a serious situation getting escalated continually, it's being de-escalated because you've said something funny and everyone's cracking up about it. It's hilarious. It de-stresses people. That's another way to handle it. Another way could, once again, after being indifferent or doing it directly, just have, maybe a stoic sense or nature about you, where you have strong willpower, you have strong, endurance about things. You don't let stuff get to you. You might have what seems to be a carefree attitude. You might have what seems to be, someone who's super laid back, who doesn't let other people who might get in your face or, say things, let their actions and their intentions really shock, stress you out, or, make you have a bad day. Because there are people out there that intentionally will try and make you have a bad day. And that's just life. You just got to learn to deal with it. Yeah, you can ignore it if you'll never see that person again. But if it's someone you constantly keep seeing and have to interact with, there comes to a point where there has to be a confrontation, and there will be a confrontation. You can't ignore someone that you're constantly seeing if, they're your coworker every day, Monday to Friday, or, if it's somebody that lives in the same dwelling as you live in. The situation must be resolved somehow, or you gotta leave that situation somehow. So just moving, going away, finding a new job. Somehow that situation can and will be resolved. It's just how will that situation be resolved is, in a sense, is what I am talking about. As I said, shit tests are inevitable. They could be small, they could be large shit tests. It could be something as simple as you ask a female out and she tells you, I'm busy. Every day she's busy, but yet next week you ask her, hey, what did you do, Friday? You told me you're busy. I went out with this. Somebody told me last minute that this, blah, 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 blah. Could be on another level where she says no to you and just constantly saying no to you, where once again she's free, but she's trying to figure out how you'll react to a sense of negativity or being let down or put down, in a sense. So in terms of that, there's just different levels of shit testing you. Or another one would be doing something that you say not to do, or just doesn't make any sense. It might, for example, you have a dog. You say, hey, can you not feed my dog before 5 because they're on a strict feeding schedule, but they feed your dog at 3. Or can you pick this up, but they don't pick it up when, they need to. Shit tests come in all shapes and sizes. what really needs to be understood is how to approach each situation, because each situation can be very specific or general, but can be specific, and you need to know how to resolve these issues effectively. So overall, resolving issues between social dynamics easily is a very good and effective skill, and that is all based on identifying and knowing social cues and knowing how to resolve each situation, which takes experience. It takes time, it takes experience, and it is a real good skill. So I feel that if you are in a dynamic between male female, then this is a skill that you should be learning.